All right. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so this can be a bonus general message. I actually already recorded one that was so wild and it required a part two, and they are still processing. So I'll let those be released as soon as I can when they're done processing. In the meantime, let us begin because that'll probably not come out till tomorrow. So we have groundedness, gravity. We got a lot of transformation happening here, but I love the idea that we have a character getting more grounded, whatever that means. Now, the universe is encouraging this character to transform, but before that can happen, a character just needs to get their feet on something solid. Hey, Nancy, thanks for being here, love. The fact that we have a character who is needing to get really solid, that makes sense to me. We have Ace of Cups, so somebody who's got to love themselves just a little bit more at the moment. Seven of Swords, King of Cups. The fact that we have a character who really needs to love themselves more is because they've been either, I'm going to say, insisting that they can't be loved, which means they're going to miss out on a really great King of Cups, somebody who's super emotionally available. It's time for a character to evaluate, am I self-sabotaging? Am I telling myself some lies about love? Because this strongly encourages a character to dispense with anything that is prohibiting them, anything that is not true. And that goes for, sometimes the other side of a lie is that a character can lie to themselves and say, no, this person really does love me, when maybe this person's a jerk. It's like, no, they're really kind. Really? Someone who's kind, is supportive and is maybe there for us and is maybe showing affection and is maybe open and, doesn't tell lies and all those kinds of things. So is a character all of those things? So I could look at this in two different ways, and maybe both of these things are important. Perhaps both of those comments I just made fit in with this, to get grounded about, I need to love myself enough to say I'm worthy of, accepting somebody who really loves me back. But also maybe I need to identify if someone wasn't very nice to me, so I can quit insisting that that's what love is supposed to look like, and accepting, someone's bad behavior. Now we have a King of Cups upright. It's the only reason that I'm casting some doubt on, which of those two comments apply, because the King is upright, but the Seven of Swords sits next to it. So we definitely have a lie surrounding, and it's a lie that a character is telling themselves, but surrounding love. Andrea and Rach, great to see you. We have the Tower sideways, and this is the house of willpower. This is the solar plexus chakra being shown here. Our character hasn't fully got grounded yet because they have to let go of something. What is the thing that they've got to let go of in order to fully be able to A, love themselves, and B, shed any old dialogues that are not truthful? Okay, Eight of Cups and 10 of Swords. So I'm going to stick with both of those earlier comments for this story. We have a character who, and please forgive me, remember these are fictional stories. I am not a psychic. I am a fictional storyteller, and all my stories are for interesting, fun food for thought. I've said that since the beginning of my channel. Everybody who's watched me for years knows that. But I want to reiterate that because this could sound like I'm telling somebody what they need to do. And I don't tell stories like that. I like to look at our characters and try the best I can to find the right questions to ask so that we get an interesting story. But to me, it looks like possibly a feminine, just because that's who we see on this card, is going through a little internal struggle with herself about self-love and self-worth. But part of her struggle with that is because she's told herself a bit of a lie that maybe a King of Cups is this wonderful, loving person, but maybe they aren't really, because at the foundational level, she kind of needs to walk a new spiritual route, because this is the root chakra. And here with the solar plexus chakra, she needs to let something end. And I'm thinking that the kinds of things that need to end are the things that cause us grief and pain. So lack of self-love, causes us grief and pain. Let's not treat ourselves that way anymore. Let's love ourselves more. I always like to say, like, let's treat ourselves like we treat our pets, right? My pet would never be, left. Well, I don't leave Aries anyway because we don't like to be apart, but he would never be left thirsty or hungry. I would never leave him in the cold. I would never leave him in a place that's too hot. I think about him all the time to make sure his needs are being met. Why would we not care about ourselves as much as we care about a pet? That's kind of what I'm getting at here. This character needs to attend more to themselves. And part of that could be, wait a minute, let me be my own best friend, my own best advocate, and say, why do I keep saying somebody is really loving if maybe they're kind of only causing me grief? Maybe I can quit saying that dialogue but they were a great person. Maybe they had their problems, but I'm sure that they love me. I should accept all kinds of things, give them a big pass. Maybe not. Maybe we can say, I accept that maybe they love me to the capacity that they could, but it still was causing me grief and pain. So I'm done with that because I love myself enough to move forward. I don't want to hold on to somebody who only causes me grief and pain. And I think that is an act of self-love. And that's a hard thing to have to do. And I feel so much like I want to support this character. But let's go over here. Let's dig just a little bit more. King of Cups, Seven of Swords. Tell me just a little bit more about, yeah, see, Five of Swords. This is somebody who kept pushing away. And it's so contradictory because lovey-dovey, and then, oh no, I want to win. I'm going to push you away. I'm going to say hurtful things because I like to come out on top. That's not love. That's ego. So I really think she was kind of in love with an illusion, or telling herself that someone who clearly had their own set of issues, she was like looking at it through rose-colored glasses and saying, no, I know that they love me. And I think she knows deep down that's not true. She was telling herself a whopper of a lie. This fictional character, I'm not talking about you, no matter who you are. Don't get mad. And if it upsets you, please click off. Go listen to something funny, listen to some music, do something better. I hope everybody always remembers these fictional stories about our characters. We get to watch them do things and then contemplate, how would I do things different if I were them? I feel like this is a pretty heavy energy, which is why I'm reminding my viewers of that, because I love this story, frankly. I think it's a super important one. But I also know that it can sound pretty pushy and pretty judgy on this character. And I don't want it to come across that way, but I don't get to pick the cards. It's however they fall out. She's going to have a much easier time when that 10 of Wands, when she lets it go. Both of these cards are surrender. She can move on into calmer, peaceful waters. She can let go of this big old burden. And the big old burden was the lie she told herself, that somebody who actually caused her a lot of grief was the person who loved her. That sounds mean, but I don't think this person is capable of loving the right way, or certainly the way they displayed things wasn't right for her. Didn't make her feel good. It made her feel like they were always trying to win, get one over on her. Hurtful words, but she kept insisting, no, they love me. That's like insisting that we're going to hug, something that has a bunch of, sharp edges on it, and we keep getting cut, and we're like, oh, it doesn't mean to cut me. And it's like, but it has all those sharp edges, so it's going to keep cutting you. Maybe quit trying to hug it. Maybe step back and protect yourself, because how many cuts can you take before you realize this is not a good idea for me? Certain animals in the animal kingdom have their defense tactics, and it warns you, do we grab onto porcupines? No, because you see those quills and you go, oh, that's your defense strategy. If you don't want me reaching out and touching you, you poke those quills up. Okay, I get it. I think she was trying to love somebody who didn't want to be loved, maybe by her, which then skewed her vision of, maybe I'm not that lovable, but they are loving, so I should keep trying to give my love to them. No, she's got to let them go. In this storyline, she's got to let them go. Well, she doesn't have to do anything, but she knows this. We're watching her go through this metamorphosis already. She's vibing in a different energy already. We see a couple of quartz crystals here. We see So I'm not religious myself. I love to, like, when I travel, when I'm in different cultures, I always like to submerge into any culture, and that usually also pertains to belief systems. So although I'm not Catholic, I've seen the Pope before because I was in Rome and I wanted to go see the Pope. That was an amazing opportunity, and I'm very respectful, and I love to partake in other cultures and specifically in other belief systems, because I think anything that makes you a better, kinder, stronger person is a beautiful thing to believe in. I don't have to use the same language to share that common thread. The only reason I mention all this is because when I was actually in a cathedral in Paris, it was said that if you light the candles in the cathedral, it carries the prayers up higher into the atmosphere, so that the creator can hear the prayers more easily. And I thought, oh, that's a poetic and beautiful thing. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just mentioning I can find beauty in a lot of different things, even if I don't personally subscribe to a particular belief system. And this card, because I'm going to reference it that way, I think she has, in maybe her own way, maybe it's a standard conventional kind of religious belief, or maybe it's in a completely different kind of belief system. It doesn't matter. All belief systems are welcome here on my channel. But she has clearly connected to something a little higher. She's got a new spark, a new creative idea, and it's based in the concept of love and creativity. But it has to do with a better vibration for herself. It has to do with her embracing a different perspective that maybe I can say that I loved someone, but I can also acknowledge they might not have been that great for me. And if she can identify this and allow herself to move on, doesn't mean now she hates this person, they're a villain. Why didn't I see them that way? It means she can move on and still have said, well, I loved someone maybe too well, maybe unwisely, but on the other hand, I'm glad that's who I am. I'm glad I could still give love to someone, but I also can give love to myself. I can move forward in my life. I don't have to turn them into a hideous villain in order to, say, oh, I've seen the light. Now I know they were horrible to me. No, I loved them. There's a reason I loved them, because there was probably something beautiful in them, even if there was also a lot of pain that they caused me. But maybe I caused myself the pain by trying to hug something with a lot of sharp edges that kept cutting me. So now I've moved on. But I can move on without anger, without rage, without grief. This is such an important storyline. This is such an important breakthrough for a character. And remember, we began with transformation and gravity and groundedness. I don't think, this is just me talking right now, and I'll just put in my own 2 cents since I seem to be highly opinionated today. Why stop now, Kate? But I don't think we can say that we healed from something if the only way we can let something go is to say, ooh, now I'm angry at them. They're horrible. And I've healed because I know what a monster they were. I would say that's probably an indicator that we didn't really necessarily heal if that has to still be the dialogue. She totally doesn't need to do that. Now listen, some characters are monsters, absolutely. People that are intentional abusers, things like that. I don't talk about stories like that on my channel because I have a zero tolerance for any kind of abuse, and to me that's not something that we just, oh yeah, let's make that all be okay. No, but calling something what it is and then still being able to move on without the anger and the bitterness, without this everyday, getting an emotional charge of, anger for what happened in the past. I would say that when there's no longer an emotional charge and an anger associated with a situation, I think that's a pretty good indicator that a character has really healed. And they got really grounded. They saw something for what it was. They saw their own actions. They saw the reality of a situation, and they moved forward, not with hurt in their heart, but they moved on because it was really the right thing to do to love themselves enough to move forward and not be mad. Four of Pentacles in the reverse, letting go of the thing that was holding them back. Look, this character's tree of life is huge. Look at how massive this is. The tree of life is, all of the things we haven't grown into yet, the branches we haven't put on yet. This character was pretty bound up and was stunted for a period of time because of this connection. This is a huge breakthrough for a character. She needed to let this one go. And that meant let go of the hurt, let go of the lies, let go of the things she told herself, let go of anything associated with this whole situation, and just say, I loved somebody because of who I am. I loved them for something I saw in them. They may not have been the healthiest person for me. I'm not mad at me and I'm not mad at them, but I do let it go. And I let myself continue to grow and get back to my tree of life. And I think that's such a nice, um, just a nice, oh, I feel like I just brushed my teeth. It just feels so clean. We got the inspiration of swords. Inspiration of swords is, look at this. She's literally flying free. She has learned one of the secrets to the universe. We see all this sacred geometry in the sky. I would say this is a very enlightened character. I would say this is a character who has this beautiful perspective. This is true forgiveness. This is truly forgiving oneself, forgiving others, and allowing oneself to take the lesson and move on, and to know full well I'm going to be learning all new lessons also, but I'll carry this one with me, but I'll probably have more to learn in my life. And all of a sudden it becomes not about shame and blame, but more about, wait a minute, you mean that's what we're here for? This whole life thing is like, we're supposed to observe and evaluate our own actions and the situations that we find ourselves in, and maybe contemplate, without becoming obsessive, but contemplate like, I wonder what I'm learning in this situation. I wonder if there's another way to look at this, so that we can, the goal is to always fly a little higher, to always be a little brighter, to always be moving toward grace, I'll say. It's such a nice, uplifting story for such a very painful and difficult topic. We have a 10 of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Pentacles. There's, in this character's future, I'm not going to say she's ever going to forget this hurtful experience that she went through. She's not even supposed to forget it. It's a piece of her life history. It makes her life richer, but it also makes her upcoming relationships that much stronger and better. Evaluating why we fall for the people we do, or why we bond to the people that we do, I think our character is going to be able to make better, healthier relationships thanks to what she went through with this one that was actually very painful. This is going to be something where it's like, talk about like paying it forward. It's kind of for the rest of her life. She's going to have a better concept of who to let in, who to really give her energy to. And even she'll probably meet other people in this lifetime that she'll love, and still won't be maybe the end all be all. She'll have to be able to discern, I can love somebody, care about them, but I know not to expect certain things. I know not to say, well, they have to love me back, or they have problems, they treat me bad, but I love them, so I'm just gonna, stand by your man, or whatever. There's so many songs about, just no matter what, standing beside someone. And I love the concept of standing beside somebody, but maybe wisely. You don't stand by somebody that is, super unhealthy and pretend along with them that they're not unhealthy, right? You don't stand beside somebody and feed into a lie, because it's not good for them and it's not good for you, is what I would say this is all about. So I think this character is going to be much better at making genuine connections based off of genuine emotional bonds and healthier bonds, because they'll be able to discern what is healthy and not. They also are wanting to give. They want to give in a place that they can grow, and that other people can grow, and that relationships can grow. That's the trick, I think, to finding something satisfying, is not everyone that we love can grow with us. Not everyone that we love will allow us to grow. But those relationships are every bit as meaningful as the really, really good ones where we do all the growing. It's to be stunted and realize what we're missing is great information to learn. And I think that's the way she's reconciled this whole scenario. She saw what it taught her. And so it's not, I don't think she'd undo this for anything, from what I can tell. I mean, why say, oh, if only I hadn't met them? Meeting them gave her like a huge, huge, huge lesson in life that is going to serve her well for the rest of her life. That's a nice storyline, and it's not one that we necessarily see a lot of. I love the fact that we saw the perspective of, I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit more realistic. And every character is going to have things that they have to make peace with. But this feels like an authentic way to make peace, and exit a better person. And that's what I liked about this one. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's a delight to see everybody. Hey, Lisa, Jay Sabrone, thank you for the heart. Hey, KL, thank you, hun. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for that lovely comment. Hi, Mike. Anne, I saw you were in the house. You become the porcupine. I see. Uh, hey, Jessica. You have an English bulldog. Very nice. Say hi by virtue of giving your pup a scratch for me. Sarah J's in the house. Hey, Ina. Namaste. Tammy Secord, always great to see you. And thank you, Mike. I liked this one too. James Timmons. Hi, hun. Good to see you. All right, you guys, take care. I will see you again later. Bye.